everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast, the Nerdy podcast hosted by two Northern nerds. I'm one of your hosts, Sam.
And I'm the other host, Paul.
And today we're joined by another special guest.
Yes, we've got a very special guest this week. Not only the Nerd of the Month, and also she won the coveted prize of being the #1 poster on the Facebook group by winning by so many weeks in a row, which was just absolutely ridiculous. We've got the lovely Donna, and she's got the mug to prove it as well.
Hello.
Hi Donna, how are you?
So introduce myself, I guess. I'm Donna. You probably have all seen us posting random crap on the group. I'm chairwoman of SunnyCon, which is a Japanese anime and culture event, which will be in June next year. And I also make random stuff like gothic and horror-themed random jewelry and accessories on my Etsy, which is Luminescent Coven. It's on a slight break, but it will be up again soon. And I just guess I'm just a general geek. So.
Yay!
And I got Sam excited when you mentioned gothic
my eyes kind of lit up a bit then. But also the anime convention, I did not know that. And my husband is huge into anime. So, wow, I did not know that. I have heard of Sunny. Did you used to be Pete Lee?
No, there's other events that will get mixed up within the area, but we used to be at Rotary Leisure Centre and then Seaburn, and now we're in Newcastle because Sunderland's too small.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, let me know because I will be there, even if my husband won't be because he just hates people. But I'll be there buying merch for him. Right. What are we doing today? What's the list today?
So went with, like I say, one of Donna's suggestions, and it was quite a fun one, I thought. Feel-good movies, which, again, wouldn't always come straight to mind, but I've actually had a blast thinking of these films, giving us good childhood memories as well, so it was quite a nice one, other than thinking of scary films to watch.
Yeah, that's true. This is films that make us feel good, right?
Yes, that's correct, yes.
I got the assignment right then.
So it could literally be anything, like I say, that puts a smile on your face, so that it gives you the warm and fuzzies deep inside, I believe. And just to say as well, with Donna, like I say, I actually first met Donna when they came into the office, I don't know how many years ago now, it must have been nearly 10 years ago, when I actually designed the first website for SunnyCon. So, wow. Claim to fame.
You did the anime for one, didn't you, before that too?
I did, yes. Yeah. Like I say, because Michael, the other lad that worked with us, really wanted to do it, but he was a bit shit, I'll be honest. So, just putting it out there. But yes, so that was the first time me and Donna interacted. But she has been an absolute star on the Facebook page, which I just want to say as well. We hit 3,000 members. That is absolutely blown my mind as well. I never thought in a single.
Oh wow, she has a hat.
See, Donna comes a bit more prepared than us.
Oh my god, I wish I brought me kazoo now.
I was trying to bring it on the chat last night with the cat gift. I was like, I'm totally going to bring one.
That's awesome.
And we absolutely smashed it. So like I say, I was a bit emotional last night. So I did get it as I didn't think it would, but I still can't get over how popular it has become.
It's crazy to think like how it started, how the little brainchild started to where it is today. It's unreal. I expected our core group, like the people who I know, I didn't expect it to go as far and wide as it has done. It's just nuts.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
Especially 600 members from America, which just, how did they fucking find us? It's crazy.
I know, and thank you, because we know that we do have American listeners as well. So thank you for listening and attempting to understand what we're saying. I know it might be a little bit difficult.
Certainly. But yes, so I just wanted to get that out there before we started, because like I say, I've been bursting with pride all day today.
Yay.
So normally we do start with our guest going for the first pick, but she's a little bit nervous, so she's decided to pass the buck to me. So I'll go with my picks. And again, I've really enjoyed thinking about these films as well, because like I say, I did get warm and fuzzy thinking about them. And for the films, really strangely, because I'm not a very, well, I like my music, but surprisingly, all these things have big musical elements too, which
That doesn't surprise me with you.
And a lot of them have very memorable songs, and the songs do relate. So the first pick I'll go with today, which again surprised me, is as I've only got one cartoon in this pick, which I was expecting to be a bit more. I'll start with a song. I'll even sing it to you. You're going to get a special treat now.
Yeah,
So,
like the singing.
And it'll start out, it says, there's no cats in America and the streets are paved with cheese. So, did I ring any bells for anyone?
I have an idea, but I might be wrong. So, what is it?
And the other song that always makes us cry when Little Mouse is singing it, Somewhere Out There.
Oh, no.
So, yes, it's Fievel Mousekewitz in American Tail, the first one, not Goes West. So,
wow.
the story of a bunch of family mice, Russian, that travel over to America because they've been told that it's going to be perfect, no cats, and it's going to be, life's going to be amazing. And it's about this little mouse called Fievel who goes on this amazing journey and gets lost and loses his family, and it breaks me heart. And the Americans take to Fievel and even call him Philly. And it's an amazing fun tale. And again, like say, as a cartoon, it's not a Disney cartoon as well, which is surprising. I'm trying to think who made it. Or maybe, again, I can't remember now. Amblin Entertainment, so not too sure. But it was made in 1986, so it might be a little bit too young for. Don't know, might be a bit too young to remember when it first came out. But no, it's one of my favourite cartoons of all time.
Oh my god, I really don't like this film.
Really? Oh, boo!
Really? Yeah,
I've not seen it. I'm not gonna lie.
You've not seen it, right? So
well, at least I haven't pulled that one out the bag, because that's usually is what I say. I've not seen it, but I really do not like this. It's because it's an animal movie. I don't do animal movies at all. I hate them.
Bless.
So I'm too sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Far too sensitive.
But yes, like I say, I absolutely loved it. Like I say, the elements, like I say, when they get the Brooklyn mouse call them, hey Philly, and then at the end when, like I say, there's a big fire, the mice are getting tricked by a cat that pretends to be a rat, and it's just, like I say, quite emotional. And there's a big friendly cat. I've forgotten his name, but he's a big ginger Tom, and he's, like I say, the campest cat you'll ever meet, and he's so lovely. So if you haven't watched it done out, I purely recommend that you do. So that's my first pitch, American Tail, and you got a song out of us as well. So there.
At least it wasn't me singing this time.
True. No problems. So who's going next? Who's being brave?
Do you want to go?
I'll go next. Right. My first pick is do you know when you've got nothing else to watch, nothing to watch, nothing can come to your head, and I just need something that's not too complicated, and it's just a lovely story. It's from, oh my god, I cut the date off. Oh no, it didn't. It's from 2009. Mm-hmm. It stars the amazing Meryl Streep,
right,
and Amy Adams. It's Julia and Julia. Julie and Julia, I should say. You've not seen Julie and Julia? Oh my god. No, oh my god. So it's about Julie. Hang on, let me get this right. Julia, yeah. So it's about Julie, who is I think she works for an insurance company just after 9/11, and her job's shit, and she just absolutely, like, she hates it, but she has like this lovely apartment with her fiance and her cat, and she loves cooking. Mm-hmm. And she starts a blog because she decides to go through the cookbook of Julia Childs. Now, for us UK people, Julia Childs, it might not be a well-known name. Mm-hmm. She's like a Fanny Craddocks for us. And Julia Childs brought French cooking to America. Mm-hmm. And she did a cookbook on it, and Julia decides to go through the cookbook, and she blogs about it, and she gains a following, and she
So is it a true story, is it?
Yeah, kind of. I think so. Yeah. But yes, it is a true story, and it's the usual like kind of rom-commy film where she ends up having a massive fight with her fiance over the fact that she's gaining notoriety because of her blog, and then they fall out, get back together. But at the end, she finds out that Julia knows about her, and she's so excited and finds out that she actually doesn't care.
Oh,
and it's heartbreaking, but it still doesn't discourage her from continuing on. And in the end scene, she's walking around a recreation, because she was a television star, very much like very early, like what Ainsley Harriott used to do, just like show like ingredients on a table. This is how you make it, kind of thing. And there's like a studio set of a kitchen and everything, and it's such a like I do get like the warm and fuzzies when I watch it. But Meryl Streep is amazing in it.
Yeah, I don't think Meryl Streep's made. I could be wrong, but I don't think she's made many bad films, to be honest. Like where she's been.
You get it's a parallel story. So you get Julie's story of a blog, and then you get Julia Child's story of her growing up and going to Paris and learning, defeating the odds of, like, because she was an American in Paris, and the stereotypical French kind of stuck-up behavior, because she has a very distinct voice. She would hang on. Hello, I'm Julia Childs, and that's how she would talk. And would she talk like that all the time? And it's just a lovely film. I do recommend, like, if it's a crappy day and you've got nothing else to watch, can't recommend Julia and Julia enough. It's so good. Such a good. That's my first choice.
No, when you said Meryl Streep, I thought you were going to go Devil Wears Prada or something along them lines. But
I do like that film, but I think my sister would literally kill me for putting that on a list. She hates it. I made her watch it when she stayed with us last year, and she hates that film. So I didn't dare.
Bless her.
Didn't dare.
Cool. No, good. Like I say, I'll keep an eye out for it. It's probably passed us by. Like I say, with the cooking aspect, that's probably not been something up my street. But
no, it's not. But it's like, if you say buy your film to me, buy your romantic comedy, and I'm in the mood for it, I'm going to watch it. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Cool. That's the thing. Like I say, that's the main thing. If you enjoy something, as I said with these picks, literally it could be the scariest or even the childish thing you ever. But if it means a lot to you, it means a lot to you. So cool. So we're going for Donna's first pick now.
Yep. So my first pick is a 1990 movie, and probably is one of my favorite Christmas movies. And probably is not something he's expecting to be on my list, but it's Home Alone.
Oh, wow. Christmas never even crossed my mind.
So, this is going to be a joint pick, because guess what's on my list? Yes. I 100% agree with you, Donna. So I'll let you tell me why you like it so much first, then we'll have that conversation.
So I remember watching this when I was a kid, right? And I thought it was the most funniest movie I'd ever seen in my life. I know that's bad. Like when he's standing on the nail and he's going up the stairs, and like when he sets his head alight and stuff. And the funniest part though, when he's getting electrocuted and they kind of drag it out, like it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. That sounds really bad, but it was hilarious.
Oh no, it's that type of comedy. It's very like slapstick, like the Three Stooges, like the Marx Brothers type of comedy of old, just done modernized. But yeah, you're right. It's absolutely brilliant. Like Kevin McAllister should have been done for manslaughter at times with the way he trapped them robbers. It wasn't really a fair game, but.
Well, let's be honest. There's a lot of things that should not have been done in that film, and a lot of arrests should have been made. And the main one goes down to the parents. There's the starting point. I get it though. I do. It is a heartwarming, like regardless of that side of it. Like because you look at it when you think of things like that, you're looking at it through adult eyes. Like what was the parents thinking? But as a child, I totally get it.
With you, I don't know if it was the same. When you first watched that film, did you want your parents to go away and leave you?
Yes.
Just to see how you would react.
I know how I would react. I would have loved it if I'd have been left alone and be up to my own devices. But I'm not crafty, so my traps would have been really pathetic. I think it's such a genius film as well. The fact that you've got at the time one of the biggest kind of mob stars in a children's film. Like, what a genius move.
We'll talk about the cast though as well. Like, every single person in that cast was absolutely brilliant. I'm trying to get the list up now because I can't.
Joe Pesci, Catherine O'Hara, who's one of my favourites. Like
Daniel Stern, who was an amazing 80s actor. Like I say, a lot of films he was in. And again, John Candy is, like I say, as a character, as like a little side thing. I think he did a favour to John Hughes.
It was to Catherine O'Hara. It was a favour to Catherine O'Hara because they used to do what is it called? It's the Canadian version of Saturday Night Live. They're part of that clique, and it was a favour to her. And I don't think even he was credited for it, or
no, he didn't get paid for it. I knew that was one of the facts that came out.
But it was her. It was her he did the favour for because they worked together, like with them. What's his name? Eugene Levy, and they were all part of the same little clique. Rick Moranis, Bill Murray, because they're all
Dan Aykroyd and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, Canadian actors. They all worked together and they all did favours for each other.
But as well, there was a really scary, creepy element in it too. Like I say, the story when they're telling about the bin man, how he killed his family and used the salt to get rid of them. That was genuinely terrifying. Like, say, the way they told that story, especially as a kid. When did you first see it, Donna? Did you see it on, like, say, at the pictures, or were you seeing it on VHS?
No, the probably been on VHS. I've been a kid around Christmas, so definitely not pictures. Because I was born in 91, so.
Fuck off.
I was like.
Yeah, 1982 here, so that's fine. But
it's not as bad as one of our guests saying that she was 5 when Lord of the Rings came out, because that almost broke my heart.
I was watching that the other night.
And the worst thing about it, she knew much more than Lord of the Rings about.
More than us.
So yeah, that was fun. But no, again, I remember when I first watched it. I didn't get to see it at the cinemas. Me and Sam likes to talk about this. It was from the guy in the van. The man in the van. That pulls up in your street, and you rent a video for the weekend, and he pulls up on Monday, and you give him it back. Which was a great little service that we provided. But I remember putting it on and thinking, because I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't see any trailers. It was a time like before the internet, so there was no spoilers or anything. I didn't know anything about Home Alone. I mean, Mum put it on. She went, I've heard this is a good Christmas film. And watching it and absolutely breaking down, like I said, it was every different emotion. Like, you were scared, you were laughing, like crying, laughing at some of the things. Even the simpler jokes, like what I loved, the gags, like the micro machines, and just putting that on the floor and thinking, that's such a clever little thing. I had micro machines. I wanted to do that to me dad because I was a bit of a twat as a kid. But and
the pizza guy bit as well. That bit was hilarious.
The spider, and the spider's horrible as well.
I have a fun fact
just
about
remember
that.
the pizza. Right, come back to.
No, go on. What were you going to say?
Just when you said the pizza guy that was hilarious, where you used the videotape to scare him. What was it said? Keep the change, you filthy animal.
So them films that you see there, and that they're all shot specifically for Home Alone. Obviously, they do not exist, but they were shot for Home Alone. But the spider, so obviously spiders are very sensitive creatures. They don't particularly like a lot of movement, because if you move, they move, and they react to you. They also react to sound. So they could not get him to scream while that spider was on his face, otherwise it wouldn't have worked. Right. So what you see is him pretending to scream, and the scream is added in afterwards. Because and that's why he's deadly still for, because they're very sensitive to movement. So if he moved, if he was actually screaming, like the vibrations and everything, he would have just shot off. And he would have lost a very big tarantula.
Yeah, so this was basically before like a lot of the protection for animals and that stuff came in, because if they made that film now, they wouldn't use a real tarantula. They would, like I say, either CGI in it or, like I say, potentially, like I say, an animatronics one. I know back then they didn't have many safety guidelines with animals, so it's quite strange seeing films, like I say, in that aspects. But brilliant pick. Like I say, that was one of the ones that first, as soon as I thought about feel-good movies, because at that end of that film, if you're not nearly in tears or not crying because, like I say, Kevin and his mum, he realised, like I say, he missed her and he didn't want to lose his family. It was such an emotional type of ending, and like I say, it was perfectly done. Like I say, I don't think John Hughes directed it, but he did wrote it though, didn't he?
Chris Columbus. It
Chris
might be
Columbus.
the other way around. It might be Chris Columbus who wrote it and John Hughes who directed it. But because they did that, didn't they? They used to slip back and forward. Chris Columbus would write it or direct it, and John Hughes would write it or direct it. But I've got a story for you on Home Alone. When I went to go and see it,
is someone dead? So just before.
No one's dead. No one's dead. When I went to go and see it, I ended up seeing it in the house, and because of this, I was going to the cinema in the Metro Centre. Can you remember it?
Yep, it was where Weatherspoons is now, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Where TK Maxx is.
Yep.
Yep. So while we were going there, it was a Saturday afternoon. It was like unreal. Like, we didn't go to the cinema at the Metro Centre. It was either Sunderland or Bolton, like, but never in the Metro Centre. So it was such a treat. And we get in, we sit down, and the film's just about to start, and all of a sudden the lights on the side come on, and we're all evacuated for a bomb scare. So it's in the 90s. It's when the IRA were kind of like at a high level, and there was a bomb scare in the Metro Centre in the cinema, and we had to leave, and I never got to see it.
Oh, bless it. You never think about that in Sunderland, like say, or in Gateshead, that type of thing to happen. But yeah, so. But
it did. So. It did. So yeah, that was my little ditty.
Cool. So anything
for that Home Alone, I've sorry, do you want to go?
No.
I've passed the love for that movie onto my son, because I was watching it one Christmas, and he was only a toddler, like barely walking, and he doesn't normally watch movies, and I was watching it, and he started getting glued to it, and he was sitting there in kinks of laughter. So he loves it just as much as me, and we have to watch it every Christmas now.
Oh, bless. I love that though, that they said, like, say, that you can pass that type of film down to, like, say, that's what a good movie is. There's certain films you can do that with, like, say, Back to the Future, The Goonies, maybe Stand By Me when they're a little bit older. But it's not really, like I say, a child-friendly film to start with. But them type of things is
but yet we watched it as a child.
Yeah, but I think our kids were, like, say, parents weren't really. I know my parents were a little bit more free with what I was watching, like, say, and my auntie and uncle certainly, like, say, one of my first horror films was when I was about 10 or 11. Watching Nightmare on Elm Street 3 was a bit of an experience. But yes, no, like I say, I can't say anything nicer about this film. I don't think there's anything I would change about it. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's just so quotable as well. Like, me and my sister, and even Anne, still quote from here. We've got a little pup called Harry, and if we want to get his attention, we just go, Harry. Really annoys me mum to the death. but he's we just start chanting. I think that's a Home Alone 2. I think that's where he gets hit.
How do you feel about the remake that's coming out this Christmas?
No.
I don't know. I know, like I say, I tried watching the Turner and Hooch remake the other night and turned it off after 5 minutes. But it's got the kid from Jojo Rabbit, not the main cast, his little friend with the glasses, the little chubby one. He's playing Kevin.
Oh my gosh, I might actually watch it. I really love that. I fell in love with that kid.
Yeah.
I like to give everything a go before I make my mind up.
No, certainly. I'll always try something, but like I say, if you're thinking about don't bother with Turner and Hooch, the remake, Jesus, after it's because Turner and Hooch is a special film anyway, but it's not one to go for. It did upset us, I'm not going to lie.
It's got a dog in it. I'll not watch it.
Cool. So, anything else you want to add there, Donna, or are you happy with that pick?
Happy with that, yeah.
Well done. So you've made a start. So a good first pick. So I think Donna's winning so far. So we'll give her the points so far.
Even though we've never done a point system before.
I always do in my head. In my head, I'm always doing a point system. I know who wins each week. So I'd never tell you, but I don't want to start them fights. But it's always a.
So Matt, we'll go on to my second pick. So this one isn't. It's really hard to describe because it's not something that I would say is. I really love it. I just don't know if everyone else does. I mean, they might do because it did score 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. Right. And it's from 2006. It stars Greg Kinnear, Abigail Breslin, Steve Carell, Alan Arkin.
Right.
It's Little Miss Sunshine.
So it's one that one of our previous guests you talked about with Kelly. She loved that film as well.
So good. It's so good, but it's really hard to tell you why it's so good. Oh my God, Toni Collette's in it too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just such a a lovely feeling. Like I cry my eyes out in it. And there's one specific scene that because all it's about is a little girl who is she's not your conventional beauty pageant little girl.
Yes.
She's different.
She's normal. Shall we say normal?
She's normal. Yes,
yeah.
She's normal. She's a completely normal child who she loves the pageantry scene and she practices her heart out. And she won. She didn't actually win. She came runner-up, but then the person who won in her area got knocked off her top spot. It was like a local pageant, and she then gets to go to the Little Miss Sunshine contest. Which is somewhere, I can't remember where it is, but the family have got to travel to it. At the same time, she's finding out she's won this. They're bringing home, Toni Collette's bringing home her brother, Steve Carell, who is recently just getting out of a psych ward because he tried to commit suicide. Abigail Breslin's brother, who is actually, he's got something to do with the new Batman films, I think. Right. I think it's him.
I remember a grandfather being in it, and he was a bit mental in it as well, wasn't he?
Alan Arkin, he's absolutely amazing. But our brother is on silent, he's giving everyone the silent treatment until he can go to cadet school. Because his mum won't let him go. Yeah. But anyways, they decide to go on this this journey to this pageantry on a bus, and it's like just little mini adventure after little mini adventure, and Greg Kinnear is an absolute dickhead in it because all he keeps thinking about is his 3-point plan. Like he's got this whole pyramid scheme, and he's got an investor who's going to get involved in it. He proper puts his daughter down at one point, which absolutely breaks us. Paul Dano, that's who plays the brother.
So he was in There Will Be Blood.
That's it. I knew he had something to do with that.
So he's playing the Riddler, He's
so good in Little Miss Sunshine. And the scene that absolutely breaks my heart is when he realises he's colourblind.
Right, yeah.
And if you're colourblind, you can't fly planes, and that's what he wants to do. And he because he's been silent for so long, he starts shaking the boat, shaking the car that they're in, and then he eventually just screams and gets out, and it's fucking heartbreaking. But then she gets to the pageant, she does that amazing dance at the end with her granddad, which is totally very inappropriate. No, she didn't, because her granddad died. I've just remembered Alan Arkin died. I
was thinking there, I've seen this film, I don't remember.
No, Alan Arkin passes away during it, which is again another hilarious scene because they kidnap his body and take it with them. But yeah, she does the routine that her grandfather taught her, and it was a stripper routine to Super Freak, which you just do not expect because you think all she does is watch these pageantry stuff, so you're like, oh, she's clearly learned from that. No. He taught her how to do a stripper dance to Super Freak, and the whole family end up joining that, and it's just it's just lovely. It's heartwarming. It's just, but there's no way. I don't know how to tell you, like, to express it.
Oh no, I think it's one of them comedies where it's like an uncomfortable comedy as well. It's a bit like Napoleon Dynamite in a way, where it's the same type of feel. It's even got the same type of look, like you say, the camera shots and so on. I know it's Donna being a little bit quiet, so I take it, is this another one that you've not seen?
Yeah, I'm doing terrible because that's 3 I have not seen now.
No, I do recommend it, Donna. It's lovely. Like, there's no other word to describe it than it's lovely. You will fall completely head over heels for this family. Like, they're so dysfunctional.
If you,
really.
Yeah. If you like the humour in Napoleon Dynamite, it is very similar type of way where it's like awkward, with Steve Carell being in it as well. It is unconventional. It's not the same type of humour that you would see in The Office or anything like that.
No, it's not. It's a very different side to Steve Carell. It's one that you rarely get to see, because if you are a Steve Carell fan, which I am, you pick him up as Michael Scott and his character on Anchorman and Evan Almighty, and it's that stupid.
His best film has been 40-year-old Virgin. That was the best.
I absolutely love him.
that made him that made The Office, because he did 40-year-old Version after the first season of The Office, and that's what helped elevate The Office. I
still love that scene when they actually waxed his chest, because they did that was his real reaction, and she was an actual beauty therapist, and you could tell because if you look at the outtakes as well, because they keep getting her to do it, and she's trying not to laugh and being painful, and she's just getting sworn at and sweared, but it's absolutely like comedy gold. And the fact that they actually put him through that as well, because I remember at college they tried to do that to me at the Lantern Worm at the end of the Shiny Row. I was not happy. It didn't have a nice effect on me. There was blood. I was not. It was not a pretty sight.
When was this?
It was probably on one of the end of terms, like say when we used to go in and drink the £1 bottles of whatever alcoholic beverage they had at that time.
My God, it's probably Heineken or something like that. Or pills or something like that.
Don't know. We used to save up our dinner money for the rest of all week.
Yeah, for the week. But yeah, Steve Carell is just so different in this. It's just he's funny, but not like over the top, hilariously funny like he is as Michael Scott. If I'm going to give like a comparison to any of these characters, he's just the complete bipolar opposite.
I can't imagine him like that. It's weird.
For all he plays a gay man, he's so straight in it, like very straight in it. He's intelligent. He's a professor, isn't he, or something like that? He's like a lecturer.
He was like say a lecturer, but I believe. But he's one of these where he's just had so much shit. He just when he's talking, it's like you can tell he's just doesn't give a fuck anymore. That's the best type of I would describe him as. But again, it's one of them films where it hits all the right notes at the right time. But I didn't see that one coming, so well done. So I like that pick. So well done there, Sam.
Point for me. Right, who's going next?
So it's Donna's turn now. So Donna's second pick.
Okay, my second pick is more of a recent one from 2017. And I absolutely love the person who's in it. You'll probably know this, but it's The Greatest Showman.
Ah, yes. So are you going to start singing for us?
I will.
Go on then.
I only watched this the other month, sorry. I only watched it for the first time. I have put off. It's the High School Musical, because I never watched that, because I knew fine well if I did, I was going to fall in love with it, and it's just I don't need another musical to overtake my life. Hamilton did enough for us. But my friend, I love it, it's so good. And my friend convinced us to watch it, and I'm not a fan of the film, but I love the songs.
Yeah,
the songs are phenomenal.
I think a lot of people will be like that. I don't like High School Musical. I hate it.
I stopped myself from watching it.
I know you don't like people saying they hate things.
No, it's fine. Like I say, it's down to your preference and opinion. I've never seen it. So it's one of them films that probably I won't ever. No, I've seen Greatest Showman. Sorry, I've not seen High School Musical. Sorry, just get that straight.
Yeah.
But yes, and like I say, from Donna's post on the Facebook group, I'm no surprised that Hugh Jackman is part of her pick. And I think this has probably got a major point of the reason why you've chosen this film. Is that right?
Well, I don't like it just because Hugh Jackman's in it. I remember seeing the trailer in the cinema when I was watching something, and I was like, that looks really good. So I booked it, and I went on release date, and I was sat right at the back in the centre of the screening, and it was packed. There was not a single seat there. And the opening scene, like when he's singing from being a child to growing up, like it literally gave us goosebumps. Like when he steals the bread and then he gets handed the apple, I was like, yeah, this is going to be good. And I just really enjoyed it. Like I came out the cinema like feeling amazed by it. It was so good.
Yeah, it's one of them things where it is the American story of rags to riches, losing it, and getting the girl at the end. The only thing, again, no not in the film, trying to think of a name now, because again, I'm not a biggest fan since Dawson's Creek. The last in it, what's she called?
Zaida.
No, she wasn't in Dawson's Creek. Michelle Williams. I've never been.
Sorry.
Yeah, she plays Charity.
Yeah, I was never a big fan of her in any film that she's been in. To be honest, I don't think.
I really like her.
Amazing. She was amazing in My Week with Marilyn. She was so good.
But
I'd never liked Zac Efron in a single film or anything until I watched The Great Showman, and then I liked him. Obviously, he's done some good stuff more recently, but before that, I hadn't liked him in anything.
Yeah, I think the first one I saw him in that actually did realise he can be undouchey is basically. Was it Bad Neighbours with Seth Green?
Bad Neighbours, Rogen. I absolutely love that movie. That's when I said he's starting to make better choices.
Yeah.
Because up until that point, he was not making good choices.
Well, he was, because he was being a teen idol. It was then going from being the teenage girl fantasy transition to the big film. Because a lot of big Disney stars find that the hardest thing to go from. Going from child actor to big thing, but like I say, The Greatest Showman, his performance when he sings next to Hugh Jackman, I can't remember the song, but it sounds very Chili Peppers in theme. When you hear it back, it sounds like a Chili Peppers song when they're talking about like getting into business together and passing the drinks.
To the Other Side. To
the Other Side, but it feels like a Chili Peppers song.
Well, it's got all the glasses sliding across the bar and stuff. I was singing that earlier, actually.
But it's got all the key elements, like heartfelt. It does get emotional. Like I say, it gets too involved with that. Like I say, the opera singer who takes advantage of the situation to try and get in trouble.
Jenny Lind by Rebecca Ferguson, her singing in that as well, like that gives us goosebumps. The thing is about this, it was overplayed, like everybody overplayed these songs so badly, and I think people didn't like that, so I kind of think it took away from it a little bit.
I would love to see this. I would love to see this on stage. That's
not her actually singing.
That's not her singing. No, she can't sing. She is in Dr. Sleep, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she plays the Hat.
Oh God, what's that? Is it something the Hat? Rose the Hat or something like that?
Yeah.
No, that is not her singing. It is somebody else.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's hang on, I can tell you because I had to look it up because when I was watching it, I was like, she's either really bad at singing to the song, or that's not her singing. It's Lauren Allen who provides the singing voice.
All right.
Yeah, sorry to shit all over that.
I didn't anyway. I still like the song, so.
Yeah, no, like all the songs are catchy. Even like I say when like the Bearded Lady come out and the end performance, like I don't think there's a bad song in there. Which again, a lot of musicals can be hit or miss, and I like the fact that it wasn't an all-out musical as well. Like I think certain films have made the mistake of, like, that was one of the things I didn't like about Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Baker Street, was the fact that every single word that was in the film was sung, and it kind of detracts on the performance. But no, top pick. Like I say, it's one of them films where you think, oh, I don't want to watch it, but as soon as you start watching it, you can't stop watching it, and you can pick up at any point like I said before, I would love to see a theatre performance of it. I think it would really suit being, like I say, at the Empire Theatre, seeing like all the performers come out and that. I think it would be, like I say, a big top type performance.
I saw the clip in London in one of the cinemas where Hugh Jackman made a random appearance afterwards. I was like, oh, I wish I was there.
Well, it is interesting because that's where Hugh Jackman did start out, though, wasn't it? Because he was a stage performer, like performed in loads of musicals. I think the big one before he got Wolverine was Oklahoma. I think that was his big standout performance before, because I think they'd done an interview with Graham Norton and they got him to perform it, and he sang, and he can sing. That bloke can fucking sing as well. You don't think it.
Pipes on him. Have you ever seen the behind the scenes of the making of the film?
Oh, The Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Showman, yeah. So if you go on YouTube, you can find clips of it, and there's one where the bearded lady, because they do a sit-down rehearsal, and there's the bearded lady, she's a very shy lady, and her song is obviously a big number, and she stands behind the podium very shy, very like she's got such a powerful voice, but she's like very shy, and then all of a sudden she just bursts out from behind. She's got all, like, there's got the ensemble, like some of the cast, the Hugh Jackman's there, and it's more the background cast, like the chorus, and the just in a rehearsal room, and she just bursts out from behind the music stand she's hiding under, and just this flower just starts emerging in front of you, and all because Hugh Jackman just grabbed her hand and squeezed it, and kind of give her it's okay, like the song, you need to remember what the song is, kind of thing. And Hugh Jackman, you can see on him, if you look closely, he's got a plaster on his nose, and he'd just gone through treatment for skin cancer again, and he was told he wasn't allowed to sing in the rehearsals. He could do it in the film because of the time, but he needed to recuperate, he needed to relax. And when they were doing From Now On, he couldn't help himself. So he had someone else taking his part, and he then you can see him just building up, and then all of a sudden he just starts bursting into song. And it's, the rehearsal for it is just unreal to watch. But there's clips of it on YouTube.
To be fair, though, like I say, I'm quite happy with my sexuality, but if Hugh Jackman squeezed me, I don't know, I think I might turn from him a little bit there.
Another thing about this is that this made me buy the first CD and DVD that I'd ever bought for years. I actually went out and bought them, and I drove around for like 2 hours in the car just to sing it.
Certainly, it's one of them things. I can't remember the last CD I bought. That like I say, that takes it back now with all the downloads and stuff. But yeah, like I say, I like that. Greatest Showman. It is a very heartfelt, feel-good film.
I have to point out as well, otherwise my dad will kill us because he will watch, right? Just because of how much I like the movie, he sent, if you can see there, he sent a Greatest Showman DVD away to get graded in a special case for us.
I can make it out now. I couldn't make it out before. I could see something that had like a graded sticker. Was it like a sticker at the top or something?
He just got it graded. He was like, since you like the movie so much, it's the only graded item I own, a random DVD. Pretty cool.
I'll tell you what though, there's a cool steelbook Blu-ray version of The Greatest Showman. It's got like the big top. If you see it, I would always recommend picking it up because it always looks quite swanky. I don't actually own it myself, but it is one of the ones I am on the lookout for. So yes, Greatest Showman. Anything else you wanted to add there? Are you happy to move on?
I'm happy to move on.
Cool. So is it my pick now?
Yeah.
Cool. So the other unmusical pick would have been Home Alone that we've just discussed wonderfully with Donna's pick as well. My other one, again, this is from 1971, so again before I was born, but like I say, you know me, I like me oldies, especially like say when they remind us of my childhood. It was a Roald Dahl book originally, but they couldn't use the actual name of the Roald Dahl book because Roald Dahl didn't actually like the film. It starred Gene Wilder. So come with me and you'll see a world of pure imagination. Now, this is one of the scariest kids' films you'll see, other than The Witches from Roald Dahl, because it is terrifying at times. But as a family film, and the things that you see going through this film, I absolutely adore, and I can't, like I say, not watch this film at least once a year.
Yep.
I don't like it.
I love it.
So at least we found a film that Donna's seen now, so that's always good.
Yay!
So once again, I've picked a film that Sam doesn't like. So what don't you like about A Wonderful Tale about a young boy living his dreams and winning a chocolate factory?
Okay. I don't like it. I don't particularly like the story.
Right.
I was never a fan of the book.
Mm-hmm.
It's like me argument with the Wizard of Oz. I can't give you a really decent answer as to why I don't like it. I just don't like watching it.
Just wasn't for you. But
no.
I can understand, because, like I said, there's creepy elements. Like, there is very scary elements to this. Like that boat ride when they're going through is absolutely fear-inducing. I remember as a kid, I had actually fast forward that bit at times because it was a little bit intense. The bits when Arthur Slugworth is intimidating the kids to get the everlasting gobstopper, again, it is quite creepy. And then Oompa Loompas, fucking hell.
I love the Oompa Loompas.
When they come out, you know shit was going to go down. But like I say, they were creepy little bastards. But I love the elements. I love the story. It's a story about family. Like Grandma Joe, the best benefit cheat you'll ever know. Not getting out of bed for how many years, and as soon as his grandson wins a prize to get some free chocolate, he can dance, he can move, he can shake it about. His poor mum, who's had to work just to pay for fucking bread and cabbage soup for them. I would have been a bit pissed off there, but other than that, like I said, there's elements in this that's just absolutely magical and fantastical. Yes, I did say it in that order as well. Like I said, the fizzy lifting juice, I wanted that. I wanted to fly and, like I say, burp and, like I say, have that fun as well. The river of chocolate and all them sweets. My God, as a chubby little kid, I wanted that so badly. But yes, like I say, because I know they did remake it a few years later with, which again, Tim Burton butchered in my eyes. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They were allowed to use the actual name of the book, but this one was called Willy Wonka. Like I say, again, it's quintessential British movie making as well. I think, because it's got a lot of British actors around that time that were in it, and the other kids you couldn't help but hate, like Veruca Salt, Violet Beauregard. They were the most wrongest of them.
What did Violet do?
Violet was the one that just wanted to keep chewing and eating, like chewing everything, and
that's enough to hate the girl.
Well, she was quite obnoxious.
Yeah, she was a twat.
Yeah, she put it politely. She wasn't a nice person. Like I said, none of the kids had redeeming qualities. Like Augustus was just greedy. Mike TV was just this annoying little prat. But like I say, and like I say, the main one, Violet, not Violet. I've got her name now. Veruca Salt. God, everyone knew that girl at school as well. Everyone
probably was that girl at school.
That's probably why you don't like it, because you relate to the one of the kids that didn't get one.
Much. Yeah, I identify too much with Veruca Salt.
But say with the songs as well, you can't think of, like say, the film without thinking back to all the songs that was in it, and even them, like say, were good members, like "Cheer Up, Charlie."
Oh, see, the songs won't even get us either. Oh. The only time probably, again, another unpopular opinion, because he's not the most popular guy in the world right now, is when I saw Marilyn Manson, and he came out on stilts with a massive chandelier, swinging it around all over the place, being the showman that he was, doing the opening, the boat song.
All right.
The really creepy one. And it was so fucking good. but that was when he was so fucking good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the only thing I liked about it, or song wise, is him doing that version.
You don't even like the Golden Ticket song.
I've got a golden ticket. See,
I
I'm
just
singing
think
all the time,
that
didn't I?
the golden things. This movie makes us think of being in my nana's on a Saturday. Like everyone went round for like a picky tea, and it was always on, like every time.
I love that. I love that though. Like, see,
It's such a northeast thing, isn't it?
True, but it's that type of emotion that these type of films do bring back. Like, especially like say the ones from like a lot older, like from your childhood as well. You think about like say I can think about watching it with my granddad and my nana, and watching it with like say my parents, and like I say. Even at times with my brother, some of the times when me and my brother can actually talk to each other is watching like daft films like this. So I like that little analogy that I brought you back there. That's basically the film's done the job. That's all I think.
Yeah.
And again, at the end, it does the first, like say, a little bit of a twist on a film where you think Willy Wonka's a bit of a dick by saying, "Oh, etc., etc., etc."
You get nothing.
Yes, and then it turns out that Charlie was the purest kid and passed the test, and he got the keys to the chocolate factory. So yes, it is emotional in every single way. So yes, I love it.
Not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. And my granddad would probably be under the same agreement as me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like it.
Bless you. We're not going to agree on everything here, so that's fine.
No. But at this point, we don't need to agree with everything. Cool. So we're moving on to mine. Cool. My next one is a film I love. I know Paul will love it. Donna, I know you will love it. It has the greatest soundtrack because the soundtrack probably what makes me feel warm and fuzzy and toasty and just want to cry when it comes on. It's from 1998. It only scored 22% on Rotten Tomatoes, but is probably one of the biggest cult classics going. Mm-hmm. It starred, can't think of her name. Oh my God, why can't I think of her name? I'm looking right at her. Sandra Bullock.
All right.
Nicole Kidman. We're talking Practical Magic.
All right.
Don't tell me you do not like it.
No, don't not like it. I can't remember watching it.
What?
I'm in this same.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. What is going on? You've not seen Practical Magic?
No, I'm sure you've picked this before.
No, I have not.
I thought I remember talking about it, but
my sister.
All
Practical Magic. I did not pick Practical Magic.
You're doing one of them dodgy rule changes again.
No, so it's not a rule change. My sister picked Practical Magic. I did not.
And I'm sure I said that last time I didn't see it.
Oh my God, I honestly thought you would have seen it. I feel a bit silly now. It is so lovely. And I can't believe it got the score that it did. But it is kind of like a cult, I would say a cult classic because... Yeah.
I don't think it did well in the cinema. I think we had the discussion, like I say, I love the colours on the trailers and stuff. But it's one of them films that did pass me by.
Well, it's on Prime right now. Mm-hmm. So you best go and watch it because it's the Halloween season and it's in a town I would love to live in.
Yeah, there's a lot more Halloween films I'll be watching this Halloween, so
Practical Magic will be one of them. It's just lovely. It's a witch story that isn't too. It's not The Craft.
Yeah.
It's not. It's like The Craft and Hocus Pocus, and Practical Magic is right in the middle of it because it's got the same vibe as Salem. I don't think it's set in Salem, but the town that they live in is very Salem-esque. It also has, obviously, The Craft is involved in it, so you got the witch side, and it's a story of two sisters, and I have a sister who I'm very close with, and it's Michaela always says that Frozen is her sister film. And that's where she gets our sister, she loves the sister bond. Well, Practical Magic is that for me.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful because you don't just have them two sets of sisters. You've then got her Sandra Bullock's daughters who are two sets of sisters, and you've got their aunts as well who were played by the great Diane Weiss and Stockard Channing, who just look aesthetically amazing, wearing all the old witchy kind of clothing. It's just, they're absolutely fantastic. I cannot recommend this enough. It is so good. So good.
So it's pretty much like a witches but wholesome film as well type thing.
A wholesome, witchy film that just brings you nothing but joy. The soundtrack alone.
Because I remember the soundtrack on the thing. It was every little thing you do is magic.
Not that soundtrack, the actual score that
right.
runs through it. The do 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 that runs through the whole film. It is just I get goosebumps and I want to cry and I love it.
Just want to put a disclaimer out to all our listeners. I do apologise for this music that has come on this thing, my singing and Sam singing. Hope it hasn't put you off.
I don't apologise. If you put up with my Jurassic Park singing last week, and I'm sure I've sang before on here, I'm not apologising. I love singing the theme tunes.
To be fair, though, I was half expecting Donna to do a bit of a dancing that she's renowned for now, but we'll try and see if we can get her to do it later. So that's fine.
Might be saving it.
So you another one to add to your list has to be Practical Magic. You've just got to at least say you've seen it.
Right.
I don't say you have to fall in love with it, just to say you've seen it.
No, I'll certainly.
I was going to watch it the other week actually, and I had a feeling that you might put that in, that you might have put that on your list. So I should watch it.
I wasn't going to go down the horror route because I'm trying to stay away from that until we get to October.
Saying that though, I did take a horror movie out of my list. I did have Zombieland in there, but I thought, I'd go for something different. I think I've changed it with Willy Wonka, so Zombieland was originally in one of my picks. But
that is a good choice though. It's not. I don't feel. What do I feel? Yeah, you do feel pretty good about it because I love the list part. I think it's not great. It's so cleverly done. Especially for the zombie genre as well. You don't expect that kind of cleverness from the zombie genre. But no, it's just warm and it's autumny. Like when I put on Instagram that I was watching it, my sister instantly texted us and said, "Can you stop? It's still summer. I do not want to be watching or thinking about autumn yet." And it's like, no, Michaela, it's the spooky season. It's here.
Get over it.
You've got to get used to it. So yeah, my pick is Practical Magic that I have not picked before. That was the other one.
Well played. Sorry, I apologise for insinuating your honour there.
I have my list here, if I find it's on there, I will cry. So we're going on to
Donna. So it's Donna's next.
Donna.
Yes. So is this pick number 3? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this one has been on one of your podcasts a couple of months ago.
Ooh.
And I was going to take it out because of that reason, but I love it too much and I end up switching and I end up putting it back in. So this is a 1993 movie with Robin Williams in, and it is Mrs. Doubtfire, and I couldn't not put it on my list, so I needed it on my list.
It is a proper good feel-good movie, even though the lessons throughout isn't really the best type of lessons. But it is a family film. So what do you love about it? So I know we've discussed it before, so I'd like to hear what you've got to say there, Donna.
Yeah.
I'd say, well, a lot of the comedy aspect, the impressions, the hot dog impression, specifically the hot dog impression. It's just everything about it. It's just that you watch it and you can just relax watching it. And one day I just had a shower and I decided to cover my face in white shaving cream and that, and my boyfriend came in and I did the hello, and he absolutely himself.
That's amazing.
So we have to do that one time on the podcast just to see what we could
open it up with that.
see what whose reaction would be. Oh, that's cool. It is, like as you said, it is a quintessential family film. Even though, as you said, it is a huge, like I say, a comedy aspect, and probably is one of Robin Williams' biggest films. I would say, monetary wise, I think it absolutely smashed everything it made. But it is like
Oh, sorry, go on. I'm interrupting you.
No, it's basically about a dad wanting to spend time with his kids. That's basically the end. Like, even though how many mistakes he's made, or like say if his marriage is breaking down, it's about him loving his kids and there's not many films or like I say stories that has that element. That's what I got from that, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. As you said, if you're looking for a feel-good film, that aspect of and like I say, the hilarity part, I still piss myself laughing when he throws stuff off Pierce Brosnan's head and said it was a drive-by.
The lie, madam, and they called him a loser after.
I don't particularly go out my way to watch it. I do like it. I can't say you cannot say you don't not like it, but I just love that it's 2021 and it's still finding audiences. Like today, like kids are like, my friends' nieces had watched it for the first time the other day and absolutely adored it. And I'm like, I just love that a film is so timeless like that. But it does have a really good message in there. Like he wasn't a bad dad. There was no reason for her to take the kids away at all. And he fought for it, and I love it, and I love the seriousness and the comedy and how well they play side by side with each other.
Oh, 100%. Like, I think Robin Williams had great balance with that. Like if you look at some of his later roles as well, they were quite dark and scary, but also had a bit, like I say, when he done comedy, there was no one better. There was literally not many people could touch him. Like even if they go back to his Mork and Mindy days, that like I say things he used to do was just ahead of its time. And his stand-up he's still one. Like if you go back, I would certainly recommend checking out his stand-up comedy, because I would have paid any amount of money to see him live, because he was absolutely on fire when he was cracking jokes. But as you said, as a feel-good movie, it's a lot of, I know it sounds funny, it's a lot of people's gateway to drag queens as well. So it was the first mainstream film where, like say, you saw a man in drag, which wasn't very popular back in them days. So, like I said, we can probably thank RuPaul's Drag Race to Mrs. Doubtfire in a way.
When they're trying to get like the hair and the wig and everything right, and they're doing the matchmaker bit. I also love the dinosaur bit as well.
Yes, when he starts like talking about the dinosaurs, and that's when he gets the big break as well. So the guy kind of sees him, and then Mrs. Doubtfire becomes everyone's nana at the end, where she basically gets her own show, and like I said, that say a little bit of redemption as well. So it was a good choice. Like I say, I love that. Like I say, I've talked about Mrs. Doubtfire as one of my favourite comedy films as well. So I can watch it over and over again.
I love his brother.
The bit, where he drops. Oh, do you want to go first?
No, go on.
The bit where he's trying to rush around getting ready, and he drops his mask at the window, and the two kids over the road are laughing their heads off. Sorry.
No, it's fine. No.
I keep interrupting people. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like as you said, he gets interviewed by that, like I say, the social worker, and that's when the mask does drop off, and he's like say panicking. Said, but as Sam said before, his brother is absolutely hilarious in it.
That's what I was trying to say. Harvey Fierstein, I can't say it properly, is just absolutely unreal in this. He is a massive Broadway star. That I am what I am. He does that, and if you've ever seen the queens from RuPaul Drag Race pay homage to him at the Pride Awards, it's Ginger Minge. Can't believe I've just said that on the podcast. With Alyssa Edwards, Tatiana, Fifi O'Hara. It's the All Stars too cast, some of them, and Alyssa as well, and they pay homage to him because of obviously he's a gay rights activist, and he's Broadway as well, and Ginger sings that beautiful version to him, and he's just bawling his eyes out, like hysterically crying. It's just so good, and I just love him in this. I love his voice. His voice is fantastic.
Very croaky and stuff, but yes.
Yes.
Like say, as a film, as a film, I think it's one of the up there's not like say one of the best films in the last 20 years. Is it 20? It might even be longer now. Jesus, that's how old I am. It feels like that. Maybe even it's got to be at least 20 years old. 93. 1993, was it? Did you say?
Yeah, 1993.
Yes.
The year before Cobain died.
That's fine.
That's how I measure things.
So Sam got a dead person in. Yes.
Did it.
So right.
Did it.
So happy with that pick? Any further? Anything you want to add? Anyone?
Only that my dad always used to sing the dinosaur bit. You know, the I eat wood. Gotta get that in.
Yes. No. Cool. That's made us laugh now. So I'll move on to my second from last pick. Again, it's not too musical, but there is a big song number in it that, like I say, is probably one of the best things in the film. But I absolutely adore this film. I know it gets a lot of shit. It's cheesy. I'll stay down the witches route because Sam's talking about Property Magic. It's 1993. Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker. I put a spell on you, and now you're mine. So yes.
Haven't you picked this before?
No, I've never talked about Hocus Pocus as of yet.
Have you not? I'm
This was on my
shocked.
list earlier. This was on my list. I took it out.
No, this is.
Thought you.
No. I think we've mentioned Hocus Pocus, but we've never actually picked it because it hasn't come up to things. So like I say, it's not I would say a scary film, a horror film. It's not. I wouldn't say a comedy.
Do you know? Do you know what? I'm getting it mixed up with The Witches.
Yes,
It was The Witches. That was it.
It's
Which I actually was watching a list the other day, and it was classified as a horror film. Because you were worried it wasn't going to. You were worried it wasn't going to fall within the horror category, and I was like,
No. I was quite happy with that. Yeah, I was quite happy with it being a horror because, like I say, it's fucking terrifying. But like I say, I thought it would be a bit controversial. But no, Hocus Pocus. If you want a feel-good film, Halloween film, you can sit down, and this is where Sam will probably tell us that she doesn't like it.
I absolutely love this film.
That's fine.
I would not be true to myself if I did say that I did. It's just. What can you not like about this? And yes, that musical number where she sings "I Put a Spell." It's actually my wedding song as well.
Oh, well.
I had this on my wedding. It wasn't Bette Midler singing it, which I would have loved. It was the Nina Simone version. But yes, "I Put a Spell on You" was on my wedding song.
On my honeymoon, we went to Florida on Halloween, and we went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And the opening of the park was the Sanderson sisters coming out in front of the castle singing "I Put a Spell on You."
Did you know what? I would literally be in hysterics, like crying my eyes out. Me and Carolyn are planning a trip to LA for our 40th, and we're doing it close to Halloween, like close to like September and October, all because I want to experience Disney and Universal's Halloween. And obviously, there's a lot of other stuff that I want to do in Los Angeles, all very surrounding death. But that is the joyful side of it. Is I want to do the Halloween Horror Nights and such. I literally will bawl my eyes out from start to finish.
It is so much fun. But going back to, like I said, the Hocus Pocus element, like I said, the cast, like I say, if you're looking for a fun cast, like as I said, Sarah Jessica Parker was absolutely beautiful as
gorgeous.
Sarah. Bette Midler, top notch as Winifred. Kathy, I can't pronounce her surname, Najimy, as Mary Sanderson, which you don't really know her too much by name, but she's been in a lot of things that you've probably noticed around the shows. And again, the guy who played, I'm not going to try and get his name, the guy who played Max was in one of my favourite TV shows as a kid, Erie, Indiana. I don't know if you've seen it.
Of course we've seen it. Well, I have. My mum's favourite thing is the Erie, Indiana, the first episode with the Foreverware. If anytime you bring up Tupperware, my mum will go Foreverware. She will correct you because my mum loved Erie, Indiana. And my mum does not do spooky things, but she loved that. It also had, what was his name? Because I didn't call him by this before. I called him something completely different. He played Billy.
Yes, he's in lots of things. Doug Jones. He was
Doug Jones. That's it.
Yes. Yeah, he was in Hellboy. But he played Billy the Butcher.
Billy the Butcher. That's it.
The headless zombie, but it's just a fun romp. Like I say, it's got a dead a dead ghost girl. It's got a possessed cat called Binks, who was the most adorable thing. And other than Salem, the cat from Sabrina was probably my second favourite black cat. Like I say, even like I say, the music elements, like when Sarah Jessica Parker's Sarah's singing, "Come little children, I'll take thee away."
Yours is very creepy. Yours would scare the shit out of kids.
I've done my job. That's the main thing. But as a feel-good film, it hits on all the right notes. It's entertaining. It's just fun. I can't describe it as enough as being fun. I know, like I say, we're talking a lot about. Did you ever see Eerie Indiana Donna?
No.
Oh, now you've got a TV show to download. Seriously, because you like anything creepy and kooky, don't you?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be right up your street. Now this is.
I've not heard of it. I don't think.
I think we've talked about it a few times on the Facebook group. Like I say,
it's come up a couple of times.
Yeah, it wasn't that big. It was normally on Channel 4, I believe, when we were, like I said, kids. So you weren't even born then, so don't worry. But if you do, like I say, just if you've got, like I say, a dodgy box, or like I say, do a search.
I think it's on YouTube. Actually, Donna, if you look on YouTube, I'm sure the first episode's on there to watch. I don't know if the whole series is, but definitely the first episode, and that'll give you an idea of what the show is about. The bestest part of the whole film is the location. It's set in Salem, Massachusetts, and the place I want to live more than anywhere in the world. Or just visit, or just go. I just want to go.
When we get Kelly Moon on this, you're going to be very jealous of Kelly.
Either one or two things are going to happen. I'm either going to fall in love and be in total awe, or I'm just going to be so jealous I'll walk out. It's like, I don't think there's an in between. But yeah, the location of Salem is just, I think, perfect. It's like another element, another character to the film. I love it. It's such a just feel good all around, and it's on Disney Channel 24/7, like throughout the year. It's not seasonal like it used to be on Netflix. It's on there all the time.
And 4K as well on the Disney Plus as well, so it looks very shiny.
Yes. Get to see all them cracks in Bette Midler's face before she turns youthful again.
But one of my favourite bits is I know it sounds even a little simple, is like the devil bit, when the three witches think they've met Satan, and they get all excited, and then like I said, they end up getting attacked by Satan's little minion, the dog with the little devil wings. That just pisses myself laughing watching at that. Just hilarious.
Well, you know who they are, don't you?
I think we've talked about this before as well.
Yeah, it's I can't think of her name off the top of my head. It's Gary Marshall, who's the brother of, oh my God, what is her name? What's her name? She's massive. She's dead now, but she's massive. Penny Marshall. That's it, Penny Marshall, who is the director of Big.
Yep.
And yeah, I totally love the fact that they're husband and wife.
Yeah, I think that's when we talked about Hocus Pocus last time, was when we talked about Big. So I think that's when the last time we brought up that conversation.
Right. Well, here's a question for you. What do you think of the fact that they're doing a second one?
Interesting. I'm all for it. I'm not. It's one of them films where I do think it can lend to a sequel, because you don't need the same kids. You just need the three witches, and that's where the film can be brought into.
As long as you've got them three, doesn't really matter what else is going on.
Because everything can be interchangeable, but them are the three key elements that, like I say, would bring interest.
And I loved how they released it. I love the fact that all three of them at the same time said, yes, this is true. I just loved it.
Are you excited there, Donna?
It'll be interesting to see where they go with it.
And what was your favourite part of Hocus Pocus? Because I know, as you said, that was on your list originally, and you took it off. I can't believe you took it off.
To be fair, I've had about 20 things on here that I've took off before I actually picked. But
it's not as easy as you think.
I like the same bit with the, like, what they call him, the master. He's not the master, but and I also like where on the dance floor where she's doing a Madonna dance on that.
The pointy boobs and say, "Oh, who you meant to be?" And she's like, "Clearly Madonna." It's like, oh dear. But Thora Birch as well.
I was just going to say, little Thora Birch is in there. They're hard to believe. Like, that just makes it, like, because she's recently just been on The Walking Dead as Beta, and it's like, you can't grasp your head around the fact that how old this film actually is, that Thora Birch is a child.
Is she Beta? I thought that was
Beta. No, she was not Beta. She was Gamma. Sorry.
Because
Beta was Ryan. What's his face? The big guy. She was Gamma.
No. I thought that was the last from. Like, I thought she was an English.
That was
actor.
Alpha. That's Samantha Morrison. It's
right.
Morrison. Yeah, that was Alpha. Then you had Beta, who was Ryan. What's his face from Sons of Anarchy, and Thora Birch was Gamma.
All right, I didn't even realise that she was in The Walking Dead. To be honest, that's why I was confused.
She wasn't in very long, but she was in it.
I know she's been cast in the new Addams Family TV show. She's going to be playing.
Has she?
Yeah, she's going to be playing Wednesday's college tutor or something like that.
Oh, so she's not even in Addams?
No, she's not in Addams. No.
You sounded so disappointed there.
A little bit. I love Thora Birch.
She's amazing in The Hole.
Oh wow! I can't believe. Like, I love the fact that Nick turned around and said, "I'm sure I watched it at your house." I was like, "Yes," because I watched it all the time. Like, when it finished, I would go back and watch it again. I'd absolutely loved it.
Yes. I found it, like, I was probably disturbed by it. Like, it made us feel sick. I don't think I watched it more than once.
It's not a nice film to watch, but I think, like, say, when you get to know Sam, she had a little bit of a dark past where she liked to watch scary things or things that weren't there to make you joyous. Which, again, I think The Hole does its job perfectly, where it's not a happy film at all, and it's very clever. And a lot of, like I say, that people in that went on to do different things. Like the American guy went in Dexter. We're not going to talk about him. Lawrence
Fox went on to twat.
Yeah, we're not going to mention him. The police officer went into 13 Ghosts. She played the lass who was in 13 Ghosts, who was helping Cyrus. And again, one of the lads is in Coronation Street, I think, as well. So they've all went on to do different things.
And Keira Knightley.
Yeah.
Of all people to be in that kind of horror element, I would never have put her in it. But like now, I used to be obsessed with this film, like totally obsessed with it, to the point where I would literally watch it to rewatch it. I just absolutely loved it. There was something I was going to say to you. We brought up 13 Ghosts. Oh, that's right. I've been watching a lot of interviews with Skeech Ulrich and Matthew Lillard, because they did the circuit recently for the anniversary of Scream. And I was listening, and somebody asked him about 13 Ghosts, and I know you really liked it. And he cannot wrap his brain around the fact that it's now turned into a cult film. All right. Cannot get his head around it, because he knows what he signed up for when he went into that film. And he says, I knew exactly what I was going into. I knew fine well it was not going to be a great success. I just can't get my head around this 2021 and people are loving it.
It's like,
and I was like,
yeah.
What loves it too?
It is a bit like of a cult classic, but I think at its time, I know the ending's a bit shit, but other than that, it is, like I say, a solid horror film and quite cleverly done. But yes, like I say, I know we've discussed it before, but I would always recommend 13 Ghosts to anyone who likes horror films who hasn't seen it. It's quite a niche one, but it's also, like I say, a bit of fun as well, shall we say. That's what films should be fun, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. There, though. Okay. Yes. So sorry.
We probably took a deep dive from Hocus Pocus into The Hole into 13 Ghosts.
Certainly. And I just want to leave a last point as well. That last in Hocus Pocus, when I was a teenage boy, I absolutely loved her. The girl who, like I say, Max wanted to be with. She was absolutely Alison in that when she wore the very Victorian dress. Wow, like I say, that was my teenage dreams there.
Oh my god! Cool. Right, are we ready for my next one?
Yes.
My next one was brought up on a list that was sent to the Facebook group when you asked what their top, I can't even talk, films were for this list.
Mm-hmm.
And I instantly saw it and went, yes, this is one of my favorites. My favorite go-to. God, it's just such an amazing film. It's from 1982. Stars Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, Laurie Petty, Rosie O'Donnell, Madonna. It's the League of Their Own. Yes.
Batters up.
And there's no crying in baseball. I love this, from the actual story itself, from the actors, the costumes. I'm a very costumey person. I love the 50s era. So this was very much up my street, just aesthetically to look at.
Oh, Gina Davis is absolutely stunning in this as well. Absolutely fantastic.
That woman is flawless in this.
Yeah, but this film will break your heart in about a million pieces all at once. Like, you fall in love with them girls
Massively.
through the different things. And like say, Madonna, again, I'm not a biggest Madonna fan, but she is absolutely, as Donna shows off a Madonna glove there. But it's just, like I say, I know not many people like sports films and anything but that's not what the film's about.
Yeah, it's not. If that's what you take from it, you've not watched it properly. It's just a very good, feel good, heartwarming, gut wrenching at a time. Like there is one bit in it that rips me to pieces, and it's the when the what do you call them comes in. Oh, what were they called, man? Where they got notice of death. What are they actually called?
The coroner, or
no, it was
the telegraph. Where the
telegraph. Telegram. That's it.
Yeah.
Where the telegram comes in, and he can't find the name of it, and obviously every woman in that room, his breath is held, and as an audience member, so is yours.
Yeah.
And then they hand it to Betty Spaghetti, and I just can break.
Yeah.
I could break even thinking about it now.
No, because if anyone who hasn't seen the film, it is set, like, say, during wartime when the men all get sent to war, and so the women, like, say, as an idea, they think, oh, we'll get women baseballers and, like, say, do a league, thinking they'll take off, but they only did one season of it. Or did they do more? Or no?
They did more, but it wasn't as big as what the first season. Because the first season was basically, it was a way to it was just a form of entertainment to distract from what was actually going on, and obviously it sold war bonds as well, which obviously helped the aid of the war. Yet it did continue on. It just wasn't as grand as what the first initial season was. Because when the boys came home, they took back their sport. Yeah.
But
so yeah,
like I said, that as you said, as you described that scene perfectly, it was great because all them women had men that was men that was overseas fighting, and no one knew what was happening, and as they were going through. And again, I can't say enough, Tom Hanks is brilliant in whatever he does. I would watch, except from Cloud Atlas, I would never go through that shit again. But but yes. Well,
here's the important question. Donna, have you seen it?
As you can probably tell, and I'm an absolute terrible guest, I have not seen it.
No, you're not a terrible guest, because we can now influence you on what to watch.
Normally when I watch your podcast, I've seen most of the movies, so I've been quite unlucky on the today's.
It's quite fun though, because you actually picked this as well. This is your choice.
I had ideas in my head of things you might pick, and so far none of them have come.
That's good. Like I say, as long as we're keeping you on your toes, though, that's the main thing.
This film just I've had it probably on. I've had it on VHS. I definitely had it on VHS because I bought it when I was in America, because I went to Florida last time when I was 15, so VHSs was still a thing, and then obviously upgraded it to DVD. What can you? There's nothing you can't not like about it.
Yeah.
There
Again,
really isn't.
the casting was perfect. And again, at the end, when they got the older ladies back, and they were, like I say, they were cast so perfectly, you could tell who was meant to be who.
And do you know what bothers me more than anything? I always thought that was Gina Davis and Laurie Petty as older women, just in makeup. It's not.
No,
it's their
not.
voices on top of other actresses. And I was like, I don't know if I was disappointed or just really like, holy shit, like
they did
how
well.
they cast them so well. Because I just thought it was prosthetic old lady makeup, and I was like, wow, that makeup is impressive.
Yeah, they probably would do that now, but again, at the time, they probably thought, no, like I say, we can do something different. But it is a quintessential. I know he's not the biggest part in that, but Tom Hanks is the star. Again, I know it's about the women, but the Tom Hanks, absolutely, every scene he's in is absolutely amazing. Going from his journey, I might be just me being biased because I love Tom Hanks. His going from absolute drunken layabout to not giving a shit to actually giving it to caring and building a family with these girls as well.
But that's it. These girls don't have motivation for the game if Tom Hanks isn't there. Because at first they're fighting against him because he's fighting against them because he really doesn't want to be there. And then when he's for them, they work for him. Yeah. And and the relationship between Gina Davis and Tom Hanks in that, the chemistry is just, it's not romantic, and thank God it wasn't, because I love a built friendship, like regardless who it is, I love watching a friendship build, and it was just so special.
Yeah.
Laurie Petty is unreal in this film, like unreal. And her eyes, bloody hell, the cut glass. Honestly, they're so blue.
Yeah. So again, another one for you to watch, and I hope you do, like I say, potentially have this on look. But it is, like I say, a very film of its time, but it has aged well as well, because I watched it quite recently. So it is a film that I would certainly recommend there. But yes,
definitely.
Cool. So
I'm going to come out here with a big list.
Yeah, so this is what the podcast is. It's not us giving our top 5. It's giving you a whole new list of films to watch.
You thought you were coming on Avalov. You've gone away with homework. Shit. Yes, so that was a good pick. I like that one. Good one. Your last? No, it's your second from last pick there, Donna. Sorry.
Cool. Going into your second of last one, Donna.
Yes, this one is actually also a witchy themed one. And the 1989 movie, a Studio Ghibli movie, is Kiki's Delivery Service.
Right, so you're going to have to talk on this one because I've not seen it, and I'm guessing Paul hasn't seen it either.
Yeah, anime is not my wheelhouse.
I knew when you picked it, when I picked it, I should say, like you probably wouldn't have seen it. However, I couldn't not put one of their movies in my top 5 because I have a huge love for Studio Ghibli movies. I do think that you would both really like some of their movies, especially stuff like Totoro and Spirited Away. Got a little soot sprite up there.
I've seen Spirited Away. Like I say, my husband is a huge anime fan, so I've seen Spirited Away. I've seen I don't know if this is part of them, but the Howlin' Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle, yes.
That's it. Yes, I have seen that one.
Cool. So Sellers on it, Sky. Go on. Go for it.
Go on. I'm listening.
The main character in this is actually voiced by Kirsten Dunst, which is Kiki. And it's about a 13-year-old young witch who has a talking cat called Gigi. And she has to move into... We've got lots of talking cats in this podcast. So she has to move into a coastal city because she's a witch in training. It's like custom for them to move to a coastal city not to a coastal city, but to move and live on their own for like a whole year while they do training. And while she's there, she has to learn to use a broom and fly and stuff. So once she's like learned how to use her broom, she ends up setting up a delivery service while she's there, delivering lots of different stuff. And like everybody, she becomes a big part of the community, and everybody there loves her. And she makes quite a few friends while she's there. But like she ends up doubting herself and her abilities, and she like becomes ill. And one morning she wakes up and she suddenly can't fly anymore. And that cat becomes like a normal cat going out with like female cats and whatnot, and suddenly can't talk to her, and she has to like relearn how to do everything and believe in herself again. It really is a nice movie, and like if you're feeling like ill or just like stressed out or whatever, you can just stick this on. That's so good.
No, it sounds cool. Like I say, I like the idea of the talking cat, and when you're going like moving onto an island with a net of broomstick, I was getting, okay, this sounds like Harry Potter. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing.
Not everything's Harry Potter. I like the sound of that.
So
I get as excited about something, I'll watch it. I'm not a huge anime fan, but I do watch some things. Like Cowboy Bebop will always be my favorite.
With these movies, you don't really need to like anime. I mean, because if you like Disney movies and stuff like that, I think you would definitely like this kind of movies, because it's obviously it's anime, but it's not like watching like stuff like that. Yeah, it's not the animation is not as severe as an anime film, like as in the over expressions and stuff like that.
I think again, this is going to be me sound like old man podcast here. With our age, like say difference, like say Disney was a big part of our childhood, and like say the Studio Ghibli's didn't come out till later on, so it kind of personally it passed me by a little bit. I did hear about them, and like I say, I remember there was a big craze quite a few years ago that everyone was watching them, but I was like, wasn't in that group or wasn't with the people that were sharing that type of ideas, so it was hard for me just to pick up and find. But again, I think that type of culture is so big now, especially like say with like people like young ladies or even lads of a certain age group that grew up with that it's like me talking about 80s films. Like I said, that's a big part of like say my childhood, so that's where I'll always lean to. So that's something that I probably should be more broadening my horizon towards. But I will definitely give it a look, because like I said, that's the first time I've ever heard of that.
Same here.
So, and I like cats, so I'm happy with cats.
There's also another one called The Cat Returns. So, and Totoro's a must-watch, and Spirited Away. But this was 1989. I think a lot of people don't realise. A lot of
quite old,
more recent. Yeah.
But did they come out over here that time, or were they big in, like I say, in the original countries that they were produced and found its way across?
So I'm not sure if that was. Yeah, I'm not 100% on that. So
I think it would be the case, because it's I remember the craze, and it's still there today. When we do conventions, the amount of people who are dressed in anime and like anime like cosplay, and that is huge. I didn't realize it's massive in the Northeast now. It's huge. I honestly think sometimes it's overtaken the nerd culture in a way for the Northeast, because it's so prevalent. It's so huge.
Well, like I say, it better be, because that's where Donna makes money at the SunnyCon.
Back when we started SunnyCon, not many people, there wasn't many anime conventions, and not many people knew of anime. They just thought it was either weird stuff or Pokemon.
No, I completely agree. That was probably my first introduction. Well, second probably Pokemon, because I remember Channel 4 used to play, like say, a few of the dodgy anime films that were a bit more risky, like 2 o'clock in the morning. And like say, when we were kids, like staying up watching, like say, the BBC horrors, and that used to be on like Friday nights, and then Channel 4 used to show the risky things, like it used to be after Eurotrash and stuff. They used to have the anime TV shows that we used to stop up and pretend to our parents that we were going to sleep. Sorry, Mum and Dad. But I remember seeing what things like, I think I might be wrong, but there was things that were called like Devil Man or something, or Demon Man. I remember but it was quite brutal and violent and stuff. But that was the only things I remember watching. But again, like I say, I'm not that close-minded. I have heard of these things. It's just, like I say, not something that's I've went to look for, but I will give it a go, because that does sound a lot more interesting than I was expecting.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds really interesting. I mean, my husband, I think I've mentioned this before on the podcast, I fall asleep to Japanese anime. It's my relaxing time. So when I go to sleep, and they'll watch, you know, because he's got a list of stuff that he keeps up to date with weekly. And I go to sleep and all I can hear is just Japanese talking. And honestly, it's getting to the point now where it's just so soothing for us. When I hear it, I get sleepy. But if he thinks I would like something, he will sell me hard on it. He did with Cowboy Bebop, and I fucking love that. Honestly, amazing. What was the other one? It was with it was, oh my god, he's a oh, that's gonna bug the life out of us. I actually own it as well in a steel case. It's Alucard. What's the program? Hellsing.
Oh yeah, it was on the tip of my tongue.
Wow. Yeah, I knew that. I could remember the name of the character, couldn't remember the title. Hellsing. Paul, it is unreal. Alucard is one of the best characters ever. He is just amazing. I watched Bleach for a while, and I'm watching Last Airbender at the moment. Loving that.
That is good. A lot of people who don't like anime are like that, but you really don't have to get into anime to watch the Studio Ghibli movies. Like, definitely not. With the stuff you said, like, I definitely think is like it. And a lot of it's on Netflix now too.
Yeah, I know. Like I say, one of our previous guests for the Lord of the Rings, Emily, she's a huge fan as well. She loves anything to do with, like, say, anime. Well, like, say, Studio Ghibli.
Is it Ghibli or Ghibli?
I've switched between the two. I used to say Ghibli, but apparently it's Ghibli. So
I believe she named her kitten after Ghibli as well. So, but yeah, so it is something that's on my radar now more than it probably was about 10 years ago. So it is something that I'll probably keep an eye on. But yeah, good shout. You've stumped both of us there, Donna. Well done.
Yeah.
So are we happy to move on to my last pick?
Yeah.
Okay. So
God, he cleared his throat and everything.
Yes.
He means business.
So there's a speech I want to read for this, just because it's amazing. I love this film. I probably didn't like it as much when I was a kid, but as I got older in my teenage years, I started relating heavily to this, especially with the people I grew up with, and having to feel like I had to fit in a certain format or certain type. So I'm going to read this, and again, you'll nail it straight away. So, dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong, but we think you're crazy for making us write an essay telling you who we think we are. You see us as you want to see us, in the simplest terms, in the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain, an athlete, and a basket case, a princess, and a criminal. Does this answer your question? Sincerely, The Breakfast Club. I wish I could play the song now. So this...
Wow.
Yeah. So this film I related so heavily not when I first saw it. But I think when I watched it in college, I kind of got it more. Because I say, especially my age, we had to act a certain way. We weren't allowed to be as free or as, like I say, liberated and enjoy the things that we do love now. We used to get the piss took out of us. I couldn't read comics with the people I used to knock about with, because they used to think it was a geek, it was not cool. But this made us feel like I could belong in any type of circle, that you didn't have to have a certain set of friends. And when you get that message, I know a lot of people take different things from it, but it's absolutely, like I say, Stonewall, one of my favourite heartfelt films, if not one of my favourite films of all time.
Wow, you almost got me there, mind. Almost got me. I totally get what you mean by the college thing, though, because me and Paul went to college together, and my first year of college, we weren't friends then. And if you know me, this is me. Like, this is me, and this has been me since I was 15-year-old. And in my first year of college, I completely and utterly changed to fit in with a group of people who I thought I had to be. And it wasn't until I got into my second year, I met Paul, I met my closest and dearest friend Emma, and Nikki and Claire, and I was accepted for exactly who I was, and The Breakfast Club totally nails, because that group that they have accept each other straight away, and that was the same at college with my friends, which was.
Well, like I say, we all come from different backgrounds. Like say, at the time, I was a semi-professional footballer, so I was quite like the jock type aspect. Like I say, we had, like I say, Michael Dixon, who again was like I say the weird guy. We had Cootie, who was like I say the strange one, Nicky's boyfriend at the time. Andy Milson, who was just a nice guy.
Nice guy.
And like I say, all the things. And we had the little weird guy in Ray Chan, who was just the most mental case, who used to get pissed after a pint of wine. We got him drunk for the first time at the bowling alley, and you've never experienced anything like it. But it was, like I say, of a time. And again, this film was out in 1985. It has been replicated in any teen film or teen drama. Like I say, anyone that's got like a team series, I think Dawson's Creek even copied it scene for scene at one point. But it's been lampooned, it's been joked about, but at its heart, it is pure. It's realizing that you don't have to be what people expect you to be, and everyone's got that little bit of like rebellion in them as well. Which again, the soundtrack. I know we probably will do a movie soundtrack. Like it is one of the best soundtracks ever, and that end scene, like, don't you forget about it. Don't walk on.
Judd Nelson. The only thing that annoys the life out of me is the fact that all of them, Molly Ringwald, what's his name, Estevez, can't think of his
Emilio.
Emilio Estevez, that's it. All look the age that they're meant to, and then you've got Judd Nelson.
Who looks about 40.
Yes. And it's just, but he is one of the most interesting characters, yet does not look the age group. But it does like have such a resemblance to our college life.
Yeah.
Because we were this group of friends who was, we were so different. All of us, like each individual person is so different.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy the parallel to it.
I think everyone, like say, I don't know, like say, what was your childhood like? Did you suffer any traumas during the Breakfast Club?
Yeah, I was the weird one in the corner with all the black eyeshadow who no one talked to.
I would have talked to you.
Just to say, I just like to show you my honourable mention.
Yes, the Breakfast
Club. Yeah.
I'm looking at it, trying to read it as well.
Schoolboy, but yeah, just like I say again, I think whoever you watch it, you'll get something different from it, depending on your walks of life or your point of view. Again, like I say, it's a strange one because when I watched it the first time, I didn't really like it because I probably didn't get it as much. But and again, one of the films I talked about not too long ago, Guilty Pleasures, Pitch Perfect, kind of nailed it as well.
Amazing. That was amazing. That was a really good mix. That mind. Still one of my favourites.
And their reference to Breakfast Club.
Yes. Cool. So yes, that's my pick. Again, like I said, the actors in it, as you said, like Ali Sheedy, who was, like I said, played Alison, was absolutely amazing. Anthony Michael Hall, who again did brilliant films like Weird Science.
He was huge in the day, wasn't he?
And like I said, the Dark Knight as well. He was he was the reporter who the Joker kidnaps.
Right.
And Paul Gleason, who was like I say, Mr. Verne, who played a lot of different high school teachers in the 80s as well.
Also played one of the best characters ever in Die Hard because he just wanted to punch the life out of him. He played a dick in almost everything. He's a dick in Trading Places. He's a dick in Die Hard. Is he in Animal House? Because I'm sure he's a dick in that too.
Possibly.
Yeah, he's just, but he is dead. So there you go.
You have a list of these on your wall.
No, unfortunately, it's just, when facts get stuck in there, deaths get stuck in mine and they just don't come out. And I do like to point it out anytime someone comes on the screen. I'll be like, they're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely one of them movies though, like if you're feeling like shitty, you can just put it on and relax to it.
It will make you feel better. Like I say, there's films I watch when I'm poorly, like Breakfast Club, Lost Boys, Back to the Future, that will, like I say, perk us up whenever, like I say, they are brought into conversation. So yes, so that's my...
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, do you have those lists where you are like, you're feeling a bit meh, and you like you go-to films? Is them yours, Paul?
It depends if I'm in the mood for a film or if it's just stuff I'll put on. I'll put on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like I said, that is the go-to when I'm watching at the moment. Community, Scrubs. There's stuff that, like I said, like I think someone put it the other day. It's like TV shows and films can be like a warm therapy blanket for you at times, where you can.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Where you can take yourself out of the situation and just put yourself, like I say, in the fantasy, which that has been my escape for a lot of things, which I absolutely wouldn't change. But yes, so my last pick, without going all too soppy, is The Breakfast Club.
Well, thank you for nearly making us cry.
Cool.
This probably is going to make me cry. My last pick. It is me, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. This is probably going to make me cry. It's from 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Cast-wise, I couldn't tell you names. I do know Dominic West's in it.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who plays Sherlock, the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's in it. It's an English film. It's classed as a romance comedy. I don't see that at all. It's called Pride.
Ah, right, yes.
Oh, what's wrong?
I haven't seen it. I'm just hiding.
I was like, oh, I have a broker. So this is, it's just so heartwarming. So in the 80s, you had your miners' strike, which is massive for, like, a massive topic in the Northeast. Like, the mining was very prevalent here.
Yeah.
And Stad went through the strike. Like, he went through it all. And down south, at the same time, gay culture was starting to become more of a known, like more out there. Obviously, the AIDS epidemic was just on the verge. It hadn't quite hit yet. But when the mining strike happened, a group of gay people in London had noticed that the attention from the police had been taken away from them and had been put on these poor miners who were striking. And instead of reveling and gloating in the fact that for once they were being left alone, they decided that they would do a fundraiser for a mining village and help a mining village, because they were living, when these guys were striking, they were living off nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. And they picked they just literally randomly picked this Welsh village, contacted them and said, we want to help you in funding and raising money for yourselves while you're going through the strike. And the friendship that is created through these two communities who are very, very different, very different ways of life. It's heartwarming. It is beautiful. Imelda Staunton's in it, who, when you look at her, you just think very traditional English way of thinking, or Welsh way of thinking of life, and it's not. Very accepting people, and if you didn't accept them, then they were going to tell you about it. And it's so beautiful to watch it. And at the same time, it is very sad to know it is a true story. The main guy, who is the ringleader of all this, passed away. He contracted AIDS and passed away in the 80s, but he was a massive activist. But there's also a character who Dominic West plays, who is the second person in the UK to have contracted AIDS and is still alive today.
All right.
Because he smokes marijuana.
Oh, wow.
And they think that has kind of helped him in his treatment.
Right, okay.
But it is just beautiful. Have you ever seen it?
No, I've never seen it. I know Nick loves it. But it's again, it's one of them films I heard about, but I never got around to watching. But I did get the premise of the film, and like I say, yeah, like I say, it was one of the ones I wish I did watch, if that makes sense. But
Yeah, it hits homes for a lot of things. Obviously, the mining part of it. And my family, yes, a few of my family members were in the mines, but for me personally, my dad wasn't, and so it didn't really hit home for me. Like, obviously, yes, my family, but for like my inner circle, it did not. But Anth, very heavily, like his dad was a miner. Anth was part of one of those kids who marched down to London. With his little banner saying "Save my daddy's job." There's a picture of him in the paper. It's so cute.
Right.
So it is massive, and to know that this community, who how much, even today, how much shit that they get, and they still put somebody else before them.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. And it was my friend Amy, the other Amy Ingram. I've got two Amy's in my life, and there's Howick and there's Ingram. And Amy Ingram was the one who, she always used to badger at us. You've got to watch it. You've got to watch it. Please say you've watched it. Have you watched it? Every dinner time, have you watched it? And eventually, I give in and watched it. And I remember being on the phone with her, and just I was in bits, like absolute bits, because it's not tears of sadness, as it was just, I can't believe that this actually
happened.
And
at a time where you don't think that type of thing would happen as well. That's the thing, because again, not to like say bring us down, but even today the gay community is lampooned and not as accepted in the world as, like I say, as humans as they should be. So especially back in the day, it was a big shift, shall we say. So no,
it was massive.
So again, it will be something that I will most likely look into. Or
I really highly recommend it. It's not something that's going to like rip your soul to pieces. It actually, if anything,
so it's not Hellraiser. So
no, good God, no. Not going to tear your soul apart on this one. But it probably could mend your soul a little bit, just to, I don't know, just the I want to say feel good. I mean, I even asked Anth, I was like, do you think Pride's a feel good film because of the topic of it, and obviously the message that runs through it? And he was going, absolutely, because when you finish watching it, you've got nothing but a smile on your face because of the work that's carried out from it.
No, exactly. That is the main point of a feel good film. It doesn't. That's why when we were texting about it the other day, it doesn't have to be a film where you, like, say, that conventionally would say as a feel good film. It's a film that makes you feel good in a sense.
And this certainly does. I mean, it's just there's some funny elements to it. Very funny. Bill Nighy. I've just remembered Bill Nighy is actually in it, who I think's a closeted homosexual, but it's never revealed. And they're in Wales, and the guy from Sherlock walks in, and he says, he's obviously Welsh. He talks in his normal Welsh accent. And Imelda Staunton says, "Where are you from?" And he says, like a rival village. And she was going, "Oh no, we no, we'll accept the gays. We will not accept people from this town." And he just looks heartbroken. And she's going, I'm only kidding. And it's just there's a lady who, because there's a within the gay community, they had like their own little groups, and the lesbians were kind of like outed as their own little group. And there's an old lady at the end of the film going, "Where's my lesbians at?" And she's just so lovely. It's honestly cannot say more nice things about this film. I love English films and English television. I love English films. This is one of, apart from Brastoff, because I have a very personal connection to that, is very, very special. Very special.
To be fair, when I asked Nick about her top 5 here, like heartfelt, like feel good films, she just listed off like say Tony Curtis films. So
Yeah, yes.
so yeah,
I can imagine that.
It's like say different things, but yeah, no, a good pick. Like say a nice little surprise at the end there that again I would never have called in a million years. I would have definitely said you would have had a horror film in there. So well done for keeping that out.
No horror. No, that was me. That was what I said to myself when I was thinking of them. Be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, when I've done all the rest of my lists, I have to be honest because I'm not going to be a showboat.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows I watch a lot of horror films, I had to be completely. I do watch a lot of shit as well, genuine crap. But when it comes to heartfelt and feel good, like I couldn't put Steel Magnolias on there because I've already had it on a list before.
Yeah.
So again, that is because it's one of my favorites. Like it's just man, it's mint. But Brassed Off is. I didn't put it on here because I don't know if I would ever use it again, and I kind of want to hold on to it a little bit. If anyone knows me from my school days, they will know I am a trombone player.
Okay.
And the band that plays in that movie, I played with them shortly after the film came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just had like a little bit of a personal connection to us, but I didn't want to use it. I can't believe I've just admitted I'm a trombone player. I was anyway.
There's worse things to admit, though, don't worry. But yes, good pick there. So moving on to our special guest's final pick. So the drum roll. So what would your last pick be then?
Right, this one is a 1998 movie featuring Adam Sandler. And I absolutely love this movie. It is The Wedding Singer.
Yes!
You spin me right round, baby, right round like a record.
You are missing the best song, Robbie and Julia. My wedding song is from here as well, by the way.
now the best song in The Wedding Singer is Somebody Kill Me, Please.
I was going to say that.
Sorry, I'm stealing your thunder. Donna, take it away. Tell us about The Wedding Singer.
Go.
Where to start? One of the funniest bits that I love about this is at the beginning where they've got Boy George singing and he starts to sing again. The guy's just like, "You suck." Yeah, I just find that.
The amazing Alexis
Arquette.
Alexis Arquette, yeah.
Yes.
Just
go on, Sam.
He's dead. Or she's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah.
I don't know where he was in his transition at the time when he passed, but it's really sad. I love Alexis.
Mm-hmm.
May he rest. Beautiful person.
Yeah, I knew that was coming, but yes, that is just absolutely hilarious. Just the whole, like I say, the aspect of The Wedding Singer. That was when Adam Sandler was at his best. Like I say,
yeah.
I know he's made some interesting film choices lately, but Wedding Singer is one of the best films I've seen, like comedy-wise and to date. I've got so many feelings towards it as well. So
I
do like most Adam Sandler movies. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I do like most of the stuff he's in.
Me too. I'm one of the few who love Little Nicky. I absolutely adore that film. I think it's so funny.
But the story's just so it's just really sweet and cute. And like Robbie, like when got all the like kids lined up, and he gets to pick the one that's sat by himself and he's like dancing, and he like just puts his hands down on her bum, and then before you know it, everybody's doing the same dance.
Yeah, the song that so when Robbie is marrying, what's her name? What's the other woman called who he's going to get married to?
Linda.
Linda the bitch.
Linda, that's it. Yeah, the bitch. When they're waiting for Linda to come and he's at the front of the aisle, you can hear "Don't Stop Believing" in a string quartet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I walked down the aisle to. Was that song in that string quartet.
Well, there's so many, like, say, good little elements in it, like the little old lady that gives him meatballs who doesn't have any Tupperware, so puts it in his hands. And it's just, like, creepy but adorable at the same time. But, like, even the cameos in it, like Steve Buscemi is absolutely brilliant as the arsehole brother who gets drunk. And the guy... and the guy who are friends, the creepy guy who, like, say, watching Robbie fall apart and saying, he's losing his mind, and his eyes opening. I'm reaping the benefits.
Yeah, and yeah,
John Lovett. Yeah, that's John Lovett. The Steve Buscemi bit where he's what was it? Self-taught. Thanks very much. I love that whole bit.
Ow!
I'm gone. I'm gonna have to go and watch this film again. I love it. It's not until you talk about an Adam Sandler film that you remember how much you actually love it.
To be fair, this might not sound. I'm not knocking Adam Sandler. He doesn't make that film. Drew Barrymore is absolutely immense in that film. Like, you can't help but fall in love with her. Like I say, it's just so sweet, and she's just, like I say, lovable, and absolutely. She works so well with Adam Sandler as well. You could actually see them as a couple, which they do have great chemistry on there.
And you definitely hate Glenn on that movie.
Oh, what a big bell end there. But he was a typical 80s guy, and it felt like, say, the American Psycho type of thing. You think if he was in American Psycho, he would fit in with that type of crowd.
He's a very Jason Bateman, isn't he? It's Miami Vice, New Money, 80s New Money. Adam Sandler.
So yeah, that guy Glennie, a complete douchebag.
That bit on the plane where they start pushing him with the trolley thing, and that guy gets up and he's like, "Don't you talk to Billy that way."
Oh my God, there's idols in it as well. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yes, our passengers in first class get to pretty much do exactly what they want.
That's when he's sitting telling them the story, and every one of them is just glued to what he's actually saying. It's so good.
Yeah, when they're all just like, "No way."
Who else is in it? What's her name? Adam Sandler's wife or ex-wife? Our best friend.
Oh.
What's her name? Is it Christine Taylor?
Yeah, Christine Taylor.
Yeah. I like her. She's very 80s.
Yeah. Well, they always do have, like, say, the Adam Sandler cast, like, say, his little buddies that's in every film he does. But they always make good cameos. Like I say, I loved his best friend, the limo driver, who kept on like wearing Michael Jackson outfits and stuff like that during it, but like it being quite weird. But
and probably had like the Madonna fashion as well, bringing Madonna back into it.
Yeah, the jelly bracelets, like the rubber bracelets, the big hair. I love it when they're in the club as well.
Yeah. Because this was Adam Sandler hitting the big time as well. Because before this, I think it was Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, and then the Wedding Singer came out and he exploded. And then we got, like, say, Little Nicky. Was it Big Daddy before that as well? Because Big Daddy was one of my favorites.
It was around about that time because he was literally it was one after the other, wasn't it? It's what he's doing now, really, on Netflix. He was, well, up until recently, just doing one after the other. Quite honestly, you're going to, in any one of Adam Sandler's films, you are going to find something enjoyable about it.
Yeah.
Because he's unapologetic about how stupid he can actually be.
Certainly.
Are you all right there, Paul?
Yep, just been attacked.
Hello, baby. There she is. Look at her.
He's biting us now, so it's fine. But yes.
Little baby.
Yes. So, Wedding Singer's great last pick as well. Like I said, totally, I wasn't really expecting it. Again, don't know, I was expecting a few little, I was expecting you to go to the Lost Boys route or something like that. Was that on your list?
No, like, I love The Lost Boys, but I just didn't feel that it belonged on this list.
Like a feel-good film. I suppose it is about family, potentially.
You can look at it from a different point of view than just vampires, I guess. I would love to get you on to do a horror. I thought that I knew you picked this one, but I would love to get you on to do a horror, even not just a list, but just a talk about it, because I could talk about it forever.
We are hoping to do, like I say, a planned one near Halloween where we're going to get a few members on at the same time. I don't know how it'll work. It'll be interesting, but it'll certainly keep us on our toes. But so that's our top 5 picks each. How do you guys feel? Do you feel any you missed out or any regrets?
No, I just feel very warm inside. Literally, I am sweating my tits off. I have a big jumper on. I am really hot. I'm kind of regretting the decision of wearing the big jumper now. And I've got really fleecy slippers on too. Good God.
You're in autumn mode. But it's just
I am. It's just a shame my house isn't. It's absolutely boiling.
You mentioned, Donna, that you had a few honourable mentions there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to give them a shout out?
It's just I only kept the Breakfast Club on as the honourable. I did have this list has changed like so many times. Like I was tempted to put like 13 going on 30 on, and I was like, I don't know, a little bit cringy.
No, it's not. Like, say, I nearly put, 10 Things I Hate About You. Like, say, again, I love that film, but I don't think I could talk about it. That's one of the things I felt like thinking I didn't want to put a superhero film, otherwise, like Guardians of the Galaxy could have been on there as well, which I was expecting.
That's true.
I was expecting Sam to pick, but
no,
I had
keeping that for another time.
last night. I scribbled it out and switched it out. I was like, it doesn't belong there. But
which one? Clerks 2.
Yeah, just because I watch it and I laugh so much at it makes you feel good. But then I have to took it off the list.
Yeah, I would put Clerks 2 as a feel-good film, just because, like, say, he gets with, like, say, Rosario Dawson at the end. It's a happy ending for Dante and Randall.
I keep want to call him Gil, but that's his character in Mallrats.
So, want to see a donkey show?
Oh my God!
I was like thinking, like, I kind of really sit and talk about this on a feel-good one, the donkey show and that, and I'm like, so I took it off.
I could have talked about Pillow Pants.
Pillow Pants, oh my God. And the fact that he kept getting Anne Frank mixed up with Helen Keller, that is absolute genius writing on the behalf of Kevin Smith. That was so funny.
And the best analogy of Lord of the Rings ever. It's a film about fucking walking.
And they have literally just in the last day wrapped on Clerks 3.
Yes.
Cannot wait.
I've been on Smith week this week.
Just hope
I go through phases like that.
Just hope they don't fuck up like they did with the reboot. But again, not going to go into that.
Oh my God, you didn't like the reboot? I love the reboot.
The best thing in it was Ben Affleck, and he was only in for 2 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I really loved it. I love the fact that Brody was in there. I love the fact that he called his daughter, the daughter was called Millennium Falcon. I love the nod to comic book men that's in there. I generally liked it. But I've said this before on the podcast, Kevin Smith could put a turd in front of us and I would think it's fucking fantastic.
And on that note, we'll wrap up there. So again, thank you very much for everyone that's listened. Thank you so much for coming on, Donna. I know you were a little bit nervous, but hopefully we made you feel a little bit at ease. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
And also, can I just say a massive thank you for what you do for the Facebook group? I know Paul's mentioned at the beginning, but I just want to pass my thanks on. You keep that group going. Like, every time I see your name come up on my notifications, I'm dying to see what you've just said, because I know fine, but you're so engaging. You've just kept the group. You've done what I wanted to get out of this, was to take away the toxic environment that comes with the nerd community, and you are just a warrior for it, and thank you so much.
You honestly you don't have to thank us. It's just like the page is so fun. Like if I'm having a shit day, I'll just go on and I'm like, let's see what crack people's posting up. It's gonna be something funny on here. Scroll down, like, there's gonna be something that's gonna make you laugh your head off, and it's just good to have a laugh.
Certainly, that's the main thing. I think that's what we wanted out of there. And again, like I say, if anyone's listening and want to join the Facebook group, it's called Nerdy Up North Community. We're on Instagram, again, search Nerdy Up North. It's me just basically posting shit that's been posted on the Facebook group.
I reposted on mine.
And also, again, like I say, you can follow us on YouTube, and this will probably be going up in the next year, which just would have been so many videos.
If you see us moving around, editing.
Yes. So, and again, like I said, just search Nerdy Up North. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music now as well. So again, you don't have to look at our lovely faces. You can listen to us, our lovely singing voices. But again, massive shout out, massive thank you to everyone who's got involved in the group. You mean the world to us. So thank you very much for hitting that 3,000 mark. And like I said, hope you enjoyed the episode, and come back again, same bat time, same bat channel.
And stay nerdy, everyone. We love you, 3,000.
Bye.
Bye.